Howdy, this is Mackenzie Franklin from SideGame LLC here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to organize Aeon's End, the complete collection. And this includes all expansions and the legacy content, so be aware this may contain minor spoilers for the legacy game. Now this also will have all cards sleeved and packaged in a nice area here, that way you can carry everything in one section. Really nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside. First off, we have the playmat tube that's going to hold your playmat for the turns and the market. So we've got all this stuff here, and it's in a monster tube playmat. That's the one we have. There's many different varieties here that you can pick from. We just happen to have a lot of these in the library. Up next, we've got the box itself. So this is for the expansion box. You can use any expansion box you like. You're just mainly want it for this size, and this one's a little bit larger. Now, neither of these boxes have lid lift. They do fit nicely into the boxes. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside this expansion box. So first off, you'll notice we have one of the larger monster sheets on top. That's just kind of an odd piece and it doesn't really fit anywhere, so just nicely placed on top. On the bottom here, we're going to have tokens in these little ramekins. So these ramekins are 10 for $1 at the Dollar Tree. You can find something similar at your local dollar store. They fit really nicely on the table, good for the minion health if you're using the dice, which I do recommend. Really nice, don't have to deal with counters. So we've got 4 of those on the top. We've got the nemesis counters and the charge counters. We've got your player markers are in here, and then additional tokens that you may need for spell cards. So this one also has additional tokens for spell and gem cards. On the left side here, we have the different breaches for the different characters. Super nice. And then we have the sigil breach as well. So all the breaches will just go on the left here. And then you can nicely fit in the 2 components bins in here as well, because you might not need those every game, but you will need these 3 every game. So you can kind of leave those on the top. In addition, on the top here, you'll notice that we have some tokens. We've got tokens for specific characters, we've got tokens for specific nemesis, and then we've got the player marker tokens. So those are all in their little own bags, because if you need it for a specific nemesis, you just take it out and you're ready to go. Up next, we've got the randomizer cards. Now these are specifically for the nemesis and the market, because as you'll see, we don't really need randomizer cards for the other things. So you may claim heresy, but I don't really see a point in using the randomizer cards, except for the monsters. Up next, we've got your Gravehold dial and your monster health dial. And you've got some extras in here, just in case you do want to keep the artwork up. So I like to keep ones that are specific to certain themes. This one in particular goes with the mat, and then this one specifically goes with the Zaxos card. So I like having both of those. And then you'll notice that we have 2 giant stacks here. So in this first stack, we've just got a giant stack of breach mages. So these are all just breach mages. So in no particular order, you can kind of sort them as you like. You could do alphabetical, but for the cards themselves here, the placards, I don't think you really need them, because people are usually going to pick the one they think looks cool. On the other side here, we've got all of the nemesis monsters, as well as the Zaxos kind of counter. I forget what he's called, but you have Zaxos on the top here, and then you have all the different nemesis creatures with all their corresponding boards. Now, I do like having, in the expansion boxes, they come with these little trays. I do like these trays a lot because they hold some of the nemesis have little pieces that shake around, so keeping them nice and flat in here will make sure they don't shift, and you can keep them in nice order. So those fit really nicely on this other side here. Ooh. And then lastly, you'll see that we have another BCW box inside of here, and this is going to contain all of the different player cards here. So it's going to have specifically the different breach mages in alphabetical order. That way when you decide on which guy looks cool, you can easily grab it. And then you've got your crystals and your starting sparks, as well as your turn order card, your Zaxos Outcast cards. So these are just really nice. You'll notice there's only a couple of sparks and crystals. I only have enough so that there's 8 per player for crystals and sparks, 10 per player. I don't think that you need to have all those extras. It's nice for the art, but space-wise, I don't really think you need that many extra sparks or crystals. So I just put those in a separate box that I don't really use. So that's all of the player cards, and those are just going to go on the left side here. And it all fits really snugly, so I really like this organization system. It's going to fit really nicely in here. You'll slide those in that center area that you've got, and then you place these on top with the other tokens as well. And then the randomizer cards are just gonna go here on top. Lastly, you'll put that monster board, and boom, that's the first box. The second box is a lot easier. So luckily, all of the second box is basically just cards. So we're gonna lift up the top here, and inside you'll see we've got the rule books. I just keep the most recent up-to-date one, as well as the most recent one for the expeditions. And then you have just stacks and stacks of sleeved cards. So right off the bat, you're gonna notice that all of these cards right here are spells. So all spells here, pretty crazy. So spells, and then these are the gems. I just use index card to notify that. And then all of these are your relics. So you're going to randomly, if you do want to use a randomizer, you can simply just pick a stack and pull it out. So I don't really use the randomizer cards because that really fits the bill there. So just grab a stack, pull it out, get the associated cards. And if you do want to look for something specific, you can organize them by number, but generally we just do randomized. The next thing you'll look at here is the treasures. We've got the level 1, 2, and 3 treasures, and then we have the basic nemesis, the upgraded nemesis cards. It's pretty straightforward. The big thing is all the player cards on this side, all the bad guy cards on this side, and it's very straight up organized. Now, another thing you can do with the bad guys in particular, and with the breach mages, if they come with specific tokens, you can actually just put the tokens with the index card. That way you can say, okay, there's Fortress, there are Fortress's tokens, and there are Fortress's cards. So you have everything just in one slot. You can just pull it out like a filing cabinet. Super nice, because it is alphabetical. You can just figure out exactly what cards you're going to need, and they fit really nicely back in here in a nice organized fashion. So I really like the idea of having basically a index of monsters that you'll be fighting, and you can just simply pick out the things you want. And that's really it for this organization system. So it's very straightforward, very simple, but very space efficient while keeping your cards and components protected. So we'll put these things away. The put up on this is not that crazy because really you're only going to be taking a couple of cards at a time when you start the game. And that's organizing Aeon's End, the complete collection with all sleeved cards. If you have any questions about what you saw here, please let me know down in the comments below. If you have a game you'd like to see organized, please leave a suggestion. I'd love it if you hit the subscribe button. We're really trying to get this channel to grow. Thanks so much for watching. Side Game Strong.